Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got
New 52 booklet.
it! Somebody clip this one.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared. That's Teladia. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up, Jared? Thanks for having me on yet again for another Under Two Capes episode.
Hell yeah. So we're talking about the sequel trilogy.
And
Now,
no, not
bear
the
with
Star
me.
Wars. Not the
Bear
Star
with-
Wars.
Let me explain. So we figured when we were talking, because Nick and I, the earliest stage of our partnership, we had talked about what would the sequels to like Dark Knight Rises look like. So in last week, as a matter of fact, we were spitballing ideas, and I said, let's just make it an Under Two Capes episode. So here we are. So how does Dark Knight Rises end? Well, Bane's dead because Catwoman shot him with cannons. Batman is dead to the world. And then John Blake, otherwise known as Robin, finds the Batcave. Okay, we're retconning it. He didn't say Robin. He said, you should say your real name, Richard Grayson.
Yeah, that's
Just
not
say
much
that.
better. Yeah,
Just say that.
Much better.
And then as he comes up, the whole like Batcave opens up, and then he makes the Nightwing suit. So we're skipping Robin and going straight to Nightwing because that's the best way to handle this, I think. Now, Nick had this idea where that wasn't really Talia that died. It was like a clone or like a double or something like that. And she's watching it, and then all of a sudden a little boy shows up and he goes, Mother, are we going to go find father now? That's for you, Tevia. No, I have to because we're going to talk about Damian Wayne, so you know that's going to show up.
I know, but you know exactly what's going to be in the comment section.
Yeah, I know, but all right, we might as well just go with it. But so he said, how cool would it be if like movie 4 is essentially Batman and son with Talia showing up. Yeah, I'm alive. I'm not going to kill you, and you have a son because they did sleep together in Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, they did.
So there you go. So what do you think, Teladia?
I think what would have been ideal, like a sequel, is obviously, I would have introduced Superman. That's a given.
Okay, if they decided they were going to factor that in, would you go with the Brandon Routh Superman?
Yes.
That would have been cool because go ahead.
Because it's round about the same timing when those Batman Begins and Superman Returns came out. Now imagine if Brandon Routh Man of Steel film came out, right? And was canon to Christopher Nolan.
Canon.
Canon.
But yeah, that would be cool. I could see. Okay, so let's unravel that thread. So movie 2 is movie 4 is basically the Batman son. What if movie 5 is World's Finest? Eh?
It would be set after Man of Steel.
After the Brandon Routh Superman movie, keep the Man of Steel title to Zack Snyder. But and what they could do, here's the arc they could adapt. The Supergirl arc, because what that does, you can also use that as a way to bring in Wonder Woman. So you can stealth, make this a debut of the DC universe.
I got bet one.
What?
The DCAU's introduction of World's Finest live action version.
That you could do that too. You could 100% do that too, because that was solid. I'm just saying, if we were going to do it, in terms of the comics, yeah, I would do Supergirl, but in terms of like we wanted to adapt that, yeah, would be 100% down with that. Because also here's the thing, you don't have to bring in Darkseid or anything like that if you do that one, because you can keep it very like self-contained
Grounded.
and small. Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Nolan's Batman only works. He's the same thing with Reeves' Batman. Why I think they won't ever make him the main Batman of the DCU, because Nolan's and Reeves's Batman only work in a world without other metahumans.
It was more grounded as well.
More grounded, yeah. So avoid like the multiverse cosmic BS and just stick with, let's say, you could even do the President Luthor arc, the Public Enemies one.
Yeah, you could do Public Enemy, but I think what really would stand out is Apocalypse. Batman Superman Apocalypse.
True, but again, that gets into it undermines the groundedness because they're going into like Apocalypse and fighting Darkseid.
No, but you do two-parter. It'd be a two-parter film.
I could see the first part of that being movie 6.
Right.
Because now here's the question: as a new 52 fan, a fellow new 52, would you do Court of Owls for one of these movies?
Yes.
Because that would be good. That's Dick Grayson's first movie. That's the Nightwing movie that we're so essentially we're creating the Nolan verse, except expanding it more.
Yeah.
And the Nightwing movie is he encounters the Court of Owls, because remember, they were selecting Nightwing to be a Talon. It's just Batman adopted him too fast before they could take him.
Yeah. And I think when it comes down to it, I think if they do movie 4, World's Finest, then after that, Court of Owls, right? Straight up Court of Owls adaptation. But in this Court of Owls adaptation, you introduce Damian Wayne.
They could do that too, like he's a Talon.
Kind of, but the League of Assassins are also involved in this.
Cool. And this is how Batman makes his return. All right, so Dick Grayson is fighting all those Talons. It's too much for him. Then all of a sudden, like the Batwing or like the suit from Court of Owls shows up. They could do the anti-owl suit, and Batman goes, "Get out of my cave."
Yeah.
In the Nolan voice with the "Get out of my cave." Oh, man, that's hard in the throat. Jeez.
It hits your throat. Yeah.
It is hard in the throat. I see why they wanted to do computers on it, even though it sucked afterwards. But imagine that.
I can just imagine it. And you know what would have been pretty cool as well?
What?
Imagine the introduction of Barbara Gordon Batgirl as well.
They could, because here's the thing. They established that Gordon has kids, and they showed James Gordon Jr. in one of the scenes in Dark Knight, and then he goes, "Go play with your sister." Ah, there you go.
Yes.
This would have to be like 5 or 10 years after Rises, depending on when Rises takes place. Because
so Rises takes place 8 years after Dark Knight.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense in terms of time period of Barbara becoming Batgirl.
So imagine it like take 2 years after Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, so let's say she's like 8 in Dark Knight. So she's 16 when we get to
movie 4.
To movie 4, and then yeah, that works. You could make that work.
Because in movie 3, it's all about Batman and Superman. That's a straight up thing, right? Movie 4, it's about introducing the Batfamily, the introduction of Damian Wayne, the League of Assassins, and the Court of Owls. All of that combined. I know the Court of Owls was not introduced in the early 2000s, but just guys, think about it logically. If they were introduced, if they were as a new concept type of thing, because Imagine it, right? Christopher Nolan.
It's a Nolan thing to do, and
It's
it
a
makes
Nolan
sense
thing
for
to do.
that world. That's why I'm 100% sure that the Court is going to show up in the Reeseverse, because they're a very grounded villain for the most part. And by the way, the final movie should be called Batfamily Begins.
No,
Nah, screw you.
that's too thing. It,
Ah.
it needs to be something catchy.
Well, the point is, the final movie is like a Bat Family movie where it's Batman and the Bat Family versus like some villain he can't fight alone. Oh, wait, actually, it can't be Bane. Azrael shows up and he wants to depose Batman.
Too soon.
Well, because they can't do Nightfall because they did it in Rises.
Yeah, but imagine though, not Azrael, but Prometheus.
Okay, that could work. Because remember, for those of you that don't know, in Grant Morrison's JLA run, he created this character named Prometheus. And basically, he was this tactical genius and managed to take out every member of the Justice League.
Yes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Or, how about a good old Slade Wilson?
Slade Wilson would be. I'd say keep that for Damien because
Oh,
I
that
think
works.
because Deathstroke with the League of Assassins would be much bigger of a deal than having him with Azrael.
And the other thing is, I don't think you should bring in Jason Todd in this series because we've already skipped from we've skipped 2 Robins, so it's like, yeah, because at this point, I believe by this point in the timeline, in terms of DC publishing timeline, Jason was back as Red Hood. I would just say don't necessarily use it because we're skipping Batman training Dick, so it wouldn't exactly work out like that.
No, it wouldn't. You would have to do something magical to have a Red Hood in there. And if we were gonna have Red Hood in there, you know who I would have chosen to do Red Hood?
Who?
Jensen Ackles. He'd
Yeah,
be right age.
Well, yeah, because he voiced him in the animated movie.
No,
too.
no, not only that, but no, this would be before he did. So this would be around so so let's say the Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
What year did Under the Red Hood come out?
Let me look.
Right?
Let me look when the comic series Red Hood came out. I know it was about the same time as the Winter Soldier. 2006.
Yeah, so you could have easily in between Rises and Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
I just got it.
You could have done a filler.
Yes, but here's what they do. So Nightwing trains Jason.
Yes.
In this universe, it's Nightwing's greatest failure. Because remember, Nightwing's trying to take over for Batman. Jason dies on his watch. You could do the Joker and everything like that because at this reality, Heath never dies. I could see this Joker beating Jason to death with a crowbar and blowing him up.
I would recast Joker as well, just for the sake of continuity.
Nope. Keep Joker.
No, you're not understanding the actor who plays Joker.
No, keep the actor. Why are you recasting the actor?
Because don't forget, what's his name? Heath Ledger died.
No, but we're operating in a reality where he didn't die.
Oh, okay. So if he didn't die, yeah, I would definitely still use Heath Ledger.
Yeah, plus the way that Joker carries himself in like the Dark Knight, I could totally see him beating Jason to death with a crowbar.
Yeah, you know, if Christopher Nolan, if I was him, I'd be like, yeah, why don't we bring in all the heroes? Imagine introducing Wonder Woman, right?
I would actually, you could bring in a lot of the non-meta human superheroes, like Huntress.
Yes.
Black
Oliver Queen.
Canary, I think, is pushing it, but you could get away with Black Canary.
Oliver
Green
Queen.
Arrow was, yeah, exactly. Oliver Queen, I could see, not Flash. I don't see Nolan using the super-powered characters. The non-ones, or like the very,
Atom.
like...
He's not meta.
Maybe.
Not Dr. What's it called? Dr. Palmer, right?
Yeah.
Use him. Don't use the other one.
Because
he has his powers is meta. It's not meta. It's made from it's using his suit, but he has his
It's
mind.
true, but it's really doing the whole shrinking thing. I mean, Black Canary is easier because she doesn't rely so much on her screaming. But I mean, yeah, I could kind of see that. I could of the superheroes available to us, the Adam makes sense.
But yeah,
I can't see Cyborg.
No, not Cyborg.
Not even Beast Boy.
No. I would have to say Red Robin. No, we can't use Red Robin. I'm just trying to think.
Let me see. Yeah.
Superboy.
But again, Kryptonians.
But this is the introduction, New 52 style.
But still, because you're the problem with that, I could see Nolan not using any meta-human characters. So if he's not using Superman, he probably wouldn't use Superboy.
Yeah.
But in the case he does, you could do. Can you imagine a Teen Titans movie in the Nolan verse? I could imagine it being pretty much like the Titans show.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, that show fits in either the SnyderVerse or the Nolan verse if you ignore the Batman casting, who was a totally terrible Batman casting.
But I just think the way things with Nolan, I think Nolan was wrong. It was wrong of Nolan to make everything separate, if you know what I mean.
In other words, there are no other like metahumans. There is no like Metropolis and everything like that.
No. So his thing is self-contained. That's what his universe was.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in Nolan's shoes, I would have not done that. I would have allowed other universes to have them.
Well, that was the original plan. After 3 and after, if Superman Returns did well, they were going to do a Batman and Superman movie, and it would have been starring Ruth and Bale. It's just when they couldn't get them both back, that's when they decided to reboot and recast.
I heard it was for a different reason. I heard that because after Returns didn't do well, they stood up and they couldn't get what's his name, Bryan Singer, to come back to do the Man of Steel film. Mm-hmm. So they just rebooted for Man of Steel with the greatest of all time, the GOAT. That is Zack Snyder. Thank you very much.
It seems Zack Snyder is taking what concepts that didn't work, like a Justice League movie, and making it work.
Yes.
There you go.
And I don't care what the Moonlight director has to say. His opinion, that's on him. You took a shot at Zack.
Okay.
You never
Can I say this? I am sick and tired when creatives feel the need to it, because the question wasn't even what did you think of the Snyderverse. It was, so what do you think of the DCU under James Gunn? He could have just said, hey, I think James Gunn is going to do a great job or something like that. But no, he's like, no, I didn't like Snyder's stuff. I'm like, it's supremely unprofessional when you take needless shots at another director's work.
Yes.
It's like when there was this one DC director, I think he's working on the Dawn of DC Green Arrow thing, where he took shots at Zack Snyder. And I actually put under his post, I'm like, for a DC creative, this is extremely unprofessional. He probably blocked me, but I don't care.
Hey, at least you got yourself blocked.
Yep, I don't know, because I feel no need to interact with that person. But the point is, what is this need they have to attack other people's work?
because they're looking for a job.
He's looking for jobs. He wants to be in the DCU. And I'm like, way to kiss up. But at least James Gunn didn't really blast Zack's work. So I'm like, at least you did that.
Yeah, but back to Nolan. Though,
Now what they could do, what I think they should do? Around
on.
this time, as we're getting closer to Zack Snyder coming in, have Zack's universe going on concurrently with this universe, and then eventually have them cross over.
No. I have a better idea. Flashpoint it.
I was about to say that, dude. I was about to say that. Wait, the Nolanverse ends with Flashpoint, and then it leads into the SnyderVerse, because the SnyderVerse is basically the new 52.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. That is awesome.
That's what they should have done.
Near the end, we introduced the Flash. We have a Flash movie, because it's kind of funny. Nolan did movies like Interstellar, and they could totally science that up and turn that. And that movie dealt with time travel.
Yes,
dude.
It's like, why didn't they do this yet?
They could do that. That was actually because remember back then, this was around the time when they were starting to get into the idea, when Hollywood was starting to get into the idea of shared universes. So it was still a new concept. Now, if this happened now, I could totally see them doing this. In fact, that was Zack Snyder's plan.
But like I said, right? Flashpoint it, lead it into the SnyderVerse,
and then here's how I could see the ending of the SnyderVerse. Deceased. It ends with that. Go ahead.
Deceased would be a really good way to end the SnyderVerse.
Yes, it still ends hopeful. And you get to you can still do another Flashpoint with that. Kind of like in Dark Apocalypse War, where he does Flashpoint 2 and leads to the Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, you could do that.
But yes, we just came up with the coolest idea ever. Christopher Nolan's Flashpoint.
And it's not even been 30 minutes, and we already came up with something cool.
Yeah. So what they could do, and then because the way I was gonna do it, it would be similar to in the New 52, they had the traditional New 52 books, and they had the Earth 2 books on the side. Earth 2 would be like the SnyderVerse, and Earth 1 would be the Nolanverse, and they could cross over. But no, I like Flashpoint a lot more.
I think Flashpoint would work out even more than them doing the Flash movie that they did this year.
Well, yeah, because remember, according to Zach and Jay Oliva, their Flash movie at the end of the SnyderVerse is going to be straight shot for shot the comic, and we would have had Jason Momoa fighting Gal Gadot. That would be so dope.
But it's like I said, right? Just imagine, right? Nolan's version of Aquaman and Nolan's version of Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
But is that the cancelled Wonder Woman actress coming back to play
Adriana Palicki? Yeah, that would be great. They take all the in this universe, all the canceled, all the people who had their projects canceled actually happen.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Nolan verse is Justice League Mortal.
No, that wouldn't work.
Why?
Because they already got the actors and they already started filming.
No. We replaced the actors. We replaced the Batman actor with Bale. We replaced the Superman actor with Ruth. In other words, we basically take that concept, that story, and apply it to this universe.
Oh, then this would have been a really good universe.
Because
there's the Justice League film, guys.
There's a Justice League film, and what's fun about that, because it was basically going to be the OMAC story from Infinite Crisis and such. Well, you could use it where the world gets taken over by those androids, and Barry runs back in time, and restarts time. In other words, this leads to Flashpoint. The ending scene is Flash running. You see him enter the Speed Force and fades to black. The post-credit scene it's in a desolate battlefield. The Flash falls through the portal, and all of a sudden he sees Aquaman and Wonder Woman fighting. And he's like, "The hell?"
And then when he comes back, he says to Bruce, You need to find
She's
us.
the key. She's the key. Yeah,
He's
that's
the key.
that's actually not a bad idea. Man, Teladia, we are geniuses.
Like, connect the dots. Just connected the dots.
Yeah, exactly. And the Arrowverse is the Earth 2 of the Snyderverse.
Yes, the Arrowverse is canon to the Snyderverse.
By canon, we mean it's a different Earth.
Yes.
Because when you think about it, in the Earth 2 comics, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman were not in there because they died.
Well, Superman from another Earth.
Well, technically died, but my point is the Trinity was not around for the Earth 2
Oh
comic.
yeah.
So so that explains why you have like all these other characters, and you had a Flash there, and they could just say it's another Earth Barry or something like that because it's played by Grant Gustin as opposed to Ezra. You could have that divide, but that's my thing there is that, and then you have them cross over. It's like the final battle, a multiversal portal opens, and dark and like all and like Stephen Amell, Firestorm shows up, and it's like, oh, this is dope.
I can see it.
In the final battle where the world becomes a Justice League. No, the multiverse becomes a Justice League. It's a Justice League incarnate movie.
I can see it. I can see it definitely.
But imagine this. Here's a great idea for like an HBO Max series in the Snyderverse, Multiversity, where each episode is on a different Earth, and you like explore the multiverse. It's kind of like What If, but with DC.
Oh,
Written by Grant
animation
Morrison.
or live action? That's
Live
question.
action.
Live action? Oh yeah, then yeah, it'll do well.
But can I say one thing? I'm surprised they never did they haven't done an animation of this.
You know what? I'm surprised too. I'm surprised that the people who made Mortal Kombat.
Oh, don't get me started on that. There was such potential there. Again,
Why didn't they
okay,
just jump
you know what?
to DC?
You know what, Teladia? They have totally earned this.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They could have totally done DC Deceased instead of doing Injustice. Totally
That
without,
better, as a matter of fact.
as
Yeah,
an animation style.
But wait, this was coming out. I mean, I think this Deceased 1 had just wrapped up in terms of a book, so they could have adapted it.
They could have adapted it in terms of a part 1 type of film.
Yeah, and then done all the parts, all of the graphic novels as parts. That would have worked.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. But still, I'm surprised they haven't done anything with this. They probably will now that because this volume is the end, so it's done. But still, because I could see this being a pretty dope Elseworld story in the DCU.
There is an Elseworld coming back, though. You did say that. You didn't mention
that. So DC is bringing back, and I'll talk about this more on CLD, but DC is bringing back the Elseworlds label. This is where you get like Gotham by Gaslight, The Doom That Came to Gotham, this old 14-year-old like imprint where they had like Elseworld stories for DC. This is where you had like Batman became a Green Lantern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. They could roll with that, even though this is Elseworlds, just didn't have the Elseworlds stamp. But yeah, that actually works really well. And we could, end the universe with Deceased, or better yet, okay, it wasn't that Barry went back in time. We pull a Justice Society World War II. He went to another Earth. That's the Snyderverse Earth. When he comes back to the main Earth, to the Nolanverse Earth, it's Deceased. Like while he was gone, the apocalypse happened. Pun intended.
I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, he comes through the portal again. It's a desolate metropolis. He's like, what? Oh, hey, Diana. Oh, no, she's coming at me.
She's a zombie.
There you go.
Nolan wouldn't go for it, though. That's the thing.
At this point, I think he would have stepped away to pursue other projects, though, or maybe pursued more like of a producer role. But if we're in a universe where like the Flash exists, I think at this point, if he allowed the Flash to exist, we could go with this. Plus, this is around the time of the Walking Dead craze. So can you imagine this? Like Walking Dead, but with superheroes? That's what Deceased is.
It is. This is as Jay Heat say, a
New direction.
new direction.
Yeah, new direction verse. There you go. But so I think, yeah, this would have been totally dope. I swear, we here at Comics League would love to collaborate with DC and fix their entire company. We'll take the movies. So Samuel will take the movies. We'll take the comics, and then there you go. We'll turn
And
your
I'll take
company around.
And I'll take the gaming.
You'll take the
because-
gaming. There you go.
Because I have so many brilliant ideas for a video game that can be successful, that can tell stories, and that can literally take adaptations from comics
Video
into,
game.
into video games. Yeah, Jared. We can
Wait,
make that.
Nick. I mean, sorry, Teladia.
Well, wait. That was a slip up. People clip that, please.
Yeah,
clip
I
that.
got an idea. So you know, Call of Duty Zombies has the main campaign in Zombies. Imagine the Justice League game that inevitably comes out. This is the Zombies mode.
In Suicide Squad Killer Justice League.
Yes. I wouldn't be
Zombies-
surprised if they unlock skins for the Justice League members. So you can get the zombified Justice League to fight you.
I can just see that now. I can see.
Because, by the way, Brainiac becomes an injustice. Maybe becomes a zombie in this, so they can even use that.
Wow.
I'm telling dude, how cool would that be? No, I'm telling you, the zombie horde survival is this, and every 10 waves or something like that, like how they have the zombie dogs, you fight a Justice Leaguer.
But fun fact for you guys: did you know Christopher Nolan's movies were actually going to be They were going to be movie tie-in games. So we were going to get
There
movie
are a
tie-in.
few I know that there's a Batman Begins game. I played it. It's super
So there was a Batman Begins game, but there was going to be a Dark Knight
Mhm.
console game
Mhm.
that never got made, but that got turned into Arkham Asylum. Now, if Arkham Asylum did
Okay.
not get made, if the Arkhamverse was never done, imagine the Nolanverse, movie tie-in games. We could have got a handful of movie tie-in games from the Nolan universe.
That's interesting. That would have been really cool. That's how you bring in like other Batman rogues, like Freeze or Man Bat or anything like that. You do in the
Clayface.
game, so it doesn't like interfere with like Nolan's grounded movies.
Yes, Clayface.
Clayface, you could do that. Mad Hatter.
Yep.
You couldn't do the Court of Owls since they didn't exist yet.
No, you can't do Court of Owls.
You could. That's where you could do Under the Red Hood.
Yes.
Like
in the
actually,
video
Under the
game.
Red Hood, you can have Liam Neeson come back to voice Ra's al Ghul because they actually bring back the Lazarus Pit. Because if he never shows up in the movies, you don't have to worry about explaining the Lazarus Pit. Just put it in the games.
It's straight up like out of the comics, right?
Yeah, there you go.
But as well, this could have been a tool that the DC could have used going forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
For future of, let's say, for example, what we're getting now with the DCU, this could have been a tool that, oh, well, Nolan did it for the DC stuff. Why don't we just imprint it for the DCU, right? Make that as like a blueprint. What's it called? Blueprint, right?
Chris Nolan is the blueprint hashtag.
Yeah, the blueprint of the DCU, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been cool. I could dig that. Because Nolan is good at world building, so I think he could. Because remember, Nolan was involved with Man of Steel way before Zack showed up.
Yeah, he was. And
So at that point, on that note, I think actually we could have gotten like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman eventually.
Yes. And they all could have been movie tie-in games.
They could have introduced. Well, actually, here's the thing: movie tie-in games are kind of like. Because when you find out like Superman exists in this universe, because he was in the Dark Knight game.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the kicker. The Superman game that was cancelled for the PS3, Xbox 360, and PC, that was a movie tie-in game too. And that was going to be Brandon Routh's game.
Let me ask you this. Was that the one that has like the new 52 skin that like leaked out?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was post. So imagine this being post-crisis against Doomsday. Remember that fight with Superman and Doomsday? in Metropolis. There's like about a 1 minute clip on YouTube. You gotta look it up. It's called Factor 5 Blue Steel, a Superman game, right? So that game, imagine that game being in the Nolan verse, right? And Nolan had brought in Christian Bale as Batman, and or brought in what's his name?
Brandon Routh for Superman.
No, the guy who plays Blake.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, his introduction to being a GCPD officer,
Yeah,
because there's a massive breakout and it's going in from Metropolis into Gotham.
that could
So,
work.
so I'm just saying, it's all planting seeds there.
That could be interesting. I would like that. And yeah, there's so much that they could do with this. And yeah, I do like the idea of Nolan's universe being like a template for like later on, because again, he did really well of establishing a universe. I still would not do movie tie-in games. I think it's stupid that James Gunn is doing that for his universe, because
What if he's lying? That's what I'm just thinking. What if he's lying?
What if he changes his mind again?
Yeah.
Because the more these movies bomb, these current DC movies bomb, and that's the thing. That's what people don't realize when they say, okay, these movies have nothing to do with James Gunn. Yes, they do, because if they bomb, Warner Brothers is going to have less money to devote to the DCU.
And that's it. James Gunn's career is over.
Well, not career over. His DCU is going to get significantly slashed. Like, he'll say, okay, so we decided not to do gaming. Or he'll say, I never said we were going to tie in gaming. And then what we'll do, we'll see a lot of these projects getting slashed, because the only ones that we know for sure coming out, Creature Commandos, Waller, and Superman.
Yeah. But after that, after Superman, if Superman bombs, that's it. It's game over for.
That's it. Yeah, 100% that's it. Which I don't want it to bomb, but I'm just saying that could be what happens.
That could be what happened, yeah, because after the whole situation earlier this week, my God.
Which, again, that article told us nothing we didn't already know. So
Yes.
it's like no news.
No news, but bad news.
Yeah.
But
By the way, the other Nolan movie that I think could work is a Nolan Green Lantern movie.
no, he wouldn't do space. He wouldn't do space.
He
material, though.
did Interstellar.
True, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't go into the Green Lantern realm. I think that would have been.
Okay, I could see that. He already did Batman. So what we could also do is do Chris Nolan. I'm trying to find another good Chris Nolan project that he could do.
Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, and Black.
Yes, that works. Brave and the Bold, because that's actually what I believe the Black Canary Green Arrow team up is called. But yeah, I think that could work really well.
That could work well in the movie scenario, and then what that leads into is into the TV series.
Which is just like their adventures. And by the way, it would be the comic accurate Oliver Queen, not Batman Oliver Queen. And then we would have like the actual Black Canary, and not like 3 versions of Black Canary in the show. That was stupid as hell.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's start wrapping up. By the way, everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely like, because it helps us with the algorithm, and let us know below how you would handle the what you would want to add to the Nolan verse. Tevye, I know you're going to add Super Sons, so just go ahead at this point. Just get it over with.
Get
it over with. But and let us know if you think we're crazy to end the universe on Deceased, because that would be nuts.
That would be crazy.
And then you could do like a Deceased anthology series. It's like all the tie-in books, like Unkillables, and I think it's called Hope at World's End. And then, so what you do is that Deceased, it's called World's End, no, Dead Planet, and War of the Undead Gods. These are the movies, and Hope at World's End and Unkillables are the TV series. And again, Unkillables is like, what are the supervillains doing at the time? And then the Hope at World's End is just basically where they do immediately after the zombie apocalypse.
And then they turn into video games.
They could turn into video games. I'm surprised also these haven't been skins in Injustice, the zombies. That
actually there was.
See, here's the thing. Injustice 4 or 3, zombie mode.
Please and thank you.
Because what you can do, you can make it so here's the game mode. You assemble all these. You have like a team of characters that you pick. Let's say 4 or 5 comic book characters. If you lose, they get turned into deceased zombies, and you lose them for the rest of your run. And then you have to fight them later on.
I'm just seeing it now. You're giving me so many,
know.
crazy like.
DC should just hire us. So Teladia, more of your ideas. Go.
My crazy idea is an open world deceased game.
That could be fun. Oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
So you start off with the original Justice League, but yeah, by the end you're playing with different characters.
Yeah, because the League is like killed or something like that, and then the last boss battle is like Wonder Woman, Superman. It's like all the heavy hitters that have been turned into sea zombies.
Yeah. So that's what we think.
Doing.
Yeah, so that's what we think about the Nolan sequel trilogy, guys. We want to hear from you guys in the comment section below because we really do want to hear your opinions. What would you guys want to do with that? Like, what would be your
Absolutely.
sequel? What would your sequel trilogy be? I always get. Is it me or am I getting tongue twisted here?
Well, dude, it's not just you. But and by the way, I'm putting this addendum on it. You can be as crazy as you want. You can bring in freaking Darkseid. I don't care. Be as crazy and as creative as you want. And Daniel, I know you're gonna bring in Superman and Wonder Woman, and know that I agree with you. Thank you.
We both do. We both do.
We both do. Yes, exactly. So I guess let's go ahead and wrap this up because I got to get ready for the members only stream. But so Teladia, where can we find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
So you guys can find me on Twitter at Teladia Plays _ and on YouTube at Teladia Plays. I will be doing my Marvel Spider-Man 2 unboxing PlayStation 5 controller next week. That'll be exciting. I have an editor already working on me with that. And then also I will be doing my Marvel Spider-Man 2 walkthrough on Friday. Stay tuned because Jared will be criticizing me alongside with Nick as midnight launch night.
It's so easy.
It's going to be crazy. You want to tune in, stay tuned for that.
Hell yeah. So, in terms of for me, Super Wonder Legacy, we are going to talk about social media and Super Wonder, how that factors in. We're going to discuss, let's see, what else? We're going to, in terms of like movie night, we're talking about the Doom That Came to Gotham. So this is going up on Friday. So it'll be tonight at about, I would say 8 p.m. I would say is the time that we're going to do that. And let's see, in terms of other Comics League stuff, I think, yeah, there's not really that much else to talk about. Next week, actually, next Under Two Capes episode, we're going to do a vote. So I'm going to put a poll up. I'm still for if you're a Comics League member, you get to vote on what the next Under Two Capes episode is going to be. It'll be a Halloweeny theme, so we could do like a story discussion, an in-depth analysis of Deceased, and anything like that. Pitch our own Deceased books because I have an idea for Deceased Doomsday.
Ooh.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, I do.
So, and in terms of Indie Wednesday, I'm still getting that together. But anyway, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, stay heroic. And remember, restore the SnyderVerse.
Yes, Mr.